Hi everyone, this is Hiba from My Little Journal, and today I'm really excited to be doing another 15-minute challenge with you guys. I don't know if this video is going to go up before a certain video where I use the other half of this photo, but I didn't want to get rid of this photo. I wanted to use it. I actually accidentally trimmed the bottom half, so you can see it's kind of torn, but I just used washi tape, and once I stick it down in my traveler's notebook, it will be okay. You can barely see that it was cut off. But the other photo, or the other side of the photo, was my daughter, and I used it on a different spread. Like I said, I don't know if that video is going to be up yet, but I don't want to get rid of this. I never get rid of photos, especially of this beautiful face. So I'm going to try to use this other side of my photo in my traveler's notebook for my 15-minute challenge. I'm also using Studio Calico's Bright Side Traveler's Notebook. This is such a beautiful traveler's notebook. By the way, the patterns in here are gorgeous. But in this traveler's notebook, I saw the sentiment and I thought it worked really, really well with my son's photo. So I'm going to try to figure out how to add this. I really like that sentiment. I love it. I think I'm using it. I kind of had a little image in my head where I thought I would kind of surround him with words from my stamps, like just stamp out different words and phrases and sentiments. But that might change. I change my mind a lot. And because I only have 15 minutes, I just want to get onto it. So let's see how it turns out. I'm really excited to do this. It's such a cute photo of him. I'll probably end up trimming around him. So let's get to it. I'm going to grab my timer and start the timer at 15 minutes. Okay, you guys, let's start the timer at 15 minutes. I'm gonna clean up my photo first. Now, because my photo has like a straight, clean cut, I wanted it to sit at an edge, like the edge of the layout or maybe the fold. I can't add it to the like edge of the layout because it would cover up my title. So I decide to add it to the fold. And that way it's going to look really cool. It's going to make it look like he's peeking out from behind the fold. So I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to be using my scrapbook.com tape runner, by the way, because it's pretty strong and I don't have to add a lot for it to hold whatever I'm trying to stick down. I also will be grabbing my flowers. I've done this technique so many times, and I do have a few videos here on my YouTube channel where I use my flowers, my fussy cut out flowers, to create this whole look of flowers coming out from behind someone, from someone's head. It sounds weird, but it's a really cool look. And I will try to find those videos and link them in this video for you guys, just in case you haven't seen them. This technique is also wonderful with die cuts. If you have a lot of die cuts, different shapes, different sentiments, whatever the case is, this is a great way to use them up. I also do have a big picture class. I always link my big picture classes in the description box. But in that big picture class, I did share that technique using your die cuts so you can use them up and, you know, kind of empty out a little bit of your stash. But anyways, today we're using some flowers. I've been asked a lot about my flowers. I love trimming out pattern paper, like flowers from pattern papers. This one, I believe, is a Dear Lizzie. It's an old collection. I'm not sure if it's available anymore. But if it's not, I also do stamp my flowers on white cardstock and then trim them out and throw them in my little drawer of flowers. That way they're always ready for me. I can use them anytime, and I don't have to worry about fussy cutting out flowers. So there's a few stamp sets that I really, really love and use all the time to fussy cut out flowers. I will link them in the description box, but some of my favorites are definitely from Alta New. Now, when I started adding my flowers, I started with the top, like where his hat is. Now, I decided to do that because how I took my photo was it cut off his hat. And when I added the photo, it also had a clean cut. So I didn't like that look. I want my flowers to look like they're flowing and they're coming out of his body. So I started from the top, tried to cover up that clean cut, and then started to add the flowers kind of surrounding him. I'm also even adding flowers to the left side because it's gonna give that illusion of the flowers kind of surrounding him and that title kind of coming out of his body as well. So that's why I decided to kind of extend the flowers to the opposite side of the spread. So you have to kind of move back a little bit and take a look and see where you have clean cuts and clean edges from your photo. Try to cover that up. Try to use your flowers to kind of make everything like flow through and through. You don't want your layout to look like two separate pages. You want it to look like one large layout and one piece or one page, I guess. So definitely, extend those flowers to the opposite side just so everything kind of flows nicely. And if you're going to be recreating something like this, I definitely recommend to trim down your flowers. I mean, you don't want to waste them because like you can see here, I'm tucking some behind him. I'm adding some like on the photo, underneath the photo. So you really don't see what's going on underneath. So don't waste your flowers, trim them down, trim off the leaves and make them work for you. Just kind of add them behind another flower, layer these flowers, make it look like, when you layer it actually gives that whole illusion of more flowers when really you didn't use that many. I'm also like trimming a large flower to go on both sides of my spread. It just makes everything flow nicely. You don't waste any flowers and you're able to give that look of layers when really you didn't use as many flowers as it looks like you did. So definitely I recommend trimming down those leaves and those flowers and making them work on your spread. I still have a lot of time left. I have like over 9 minutes and I feel very comfortable. I don't feel like I have to rush, especially like the flowers are gonna cover up a lot of this layout. So I think that's why I don't feel like I need to rush because I'm going to end up not needing a lot of embellishments to embellish this spread, or I'm not going to need a lot of stamping or whatever the case is. So I definitely am not rushing and I feel very comfortable, which is totally different than my last 15-minute challenge. And by the way, if you haven't watched any of my 15-minute challenges, they're really fun. Definitely recommend them. I will link them up at the eye for you guys. At this point, I feel like everything looks good. I don't need any more flowers. So what I'm gonna do now is grab some of my stamp sets and do that whole look of words surrounding him. I will go through my Kelly Perky stamps. I have a lot of Kelly Perky stamps. So I'm bound to find the right words for my photo and kind of that represent my photo. So I'm going to start with, I believe the stamp set is called the holiday or the calendar. I can't even remember. But if it is available, anything that I used in this video, I will link it in the description box, especially if it's available. I will start by stamping "Every day is a holiday with you" with some black ink. I did start with black ink thinking I'm just going to stamp with black ink, but I do end up grabbing some pink ink as well, just to bring in some of that pink from the left side of my spread. I knew I didn't want to use a lot of embellishments and take away from my flowers. And I knew I was just going to be sticking to stamps at this point. So to bring in some of that pink, I'm going to end up stamping with pink ink. Now, I did want to give you guys a little tip while like stamping like this. When you have a lot of embellishments going on, or if you're recreating this layout, I always like to stamp my larger and more bolder stamp right in the center. That way, when I start stamping all the other phrases and sentiments and words, I have like a subtitle stamped out, if that makes sense. So whatever I stamp now is kind of just helping that larger, bolder stamp to stand out. So what I mean is whatever I stamp now, that every day is a holiday with you is gonna stand out no matter what. So even when I change up my inks colors, even if I use all kinds of different stamps, that will look like a subtitle. It's going to stand out. It's going to be bold. And actually it helps it helps you start from somewhere as well. So I'm changing the stamp set that I was using. I'm going for this gorgeousness. This is another Kelly Perky stamp set. I'm 100% sure it's sold out, but it is one of my favorites. It has just really cute little sentiments like you are my sun, my moon, and all my stars. So this is where I decided to change the color of my ink pad and bring in some of the pink from the left side of my spread. So I'm going to stamp a few of those sentiments just here and there on my spread. But in that stamp set, there's a cluster of stars and plus signs, and I thought it would work perfectly to break down all the words and also to kind of create my own little background. So I'm going to use that cluster. I'm going to stamp it behind my flowers, on my flowers, on the left side of my spread. Once I stamp it on the left side of my spread, you're going to see how quick it makes everything flow so nicely. And like, it's going to make this whole page look like one, or this whole spread, not two separate layouts, but one beautiful layout. But I'm just going to stamp it randomly here and there. I'll stamp it with some black ink, with that same pink ink. I'm just going for it. I feel like I still have plenty of time. Like I said earlier, I knew I wasn't going to be adding a lot of embellishments because the flowers were plenty and enough. So I just went with it. I took my time. And by the way, you can see me, I change the size of my stamp block a lot of times throughout the video. And I do that because if you use a large stamp block on a small stamp, you will eventually get ink on that stamp block and it will smudge on your layout. So that's why I always use different size stamp blocks. It really helps eliminate that. And really, you can find really good deals on different size stamp blocks in one package. I have one linked in my favorites link from Amazon. That's where I got mine. I definitely recommend it, but you can definitely find them in Michael's and Joann and all that good stuff. So definitely change up the stamp block to fit your stamp and you will not get those ink smudges on your layout. Now this stamp that I'm using right now says you're out of this world. And when I stamped it at the bottom, obviously it didn't fit because it's like on one line. But I was smart enough the second time around to grab a piece of white cardstock, cover my flowers so I can re-stamp or stamp the second part of the stamp on the bottom, if that makes sense. So now you can read you're out of this world. I also will stamp the circle. It has like a little moon in the center and it says I love you to the moon and back. This really helps break down all the words that I stamped out. I think at this point, I have like 2 minutes left. I think I'm done with the stamping. I'm just going to fill out the empty spots with that cluster again, but with pink, just to fill out, like I said, the empty spots and kind of bring in more of that pink. But I am done with my stamping. I just want to finish up this layout by adding little things. Little things to me are word stickers. I always gravitate to word stickers. I think they are the perfect little embellishment that will add a little something to your spread, but not overwhelm your spread. So I'm going to go and grab my drawer of stickers. I'm going to end up using some white word stickers here and there, but I didn't feel like it was bold enough. They were subtle enough not to be in your face, but I needed a little bit of boldness because I stamped that every day is a holiday with you in that bold stamp and that bold ink, black ink. So I needed to balance it out. So what I decided to do is grab my Tim Holtz word sticker booklet. Those are my favorite. I always have a bunch on hand. I use them all the time, and you're going to see once I grab them and go through them, like half of my booklets are empty, but I love them. They're a great price. You can get them from Amazon, you can get them from Michael's, you can get them from Joann's, anywhere. So anyways, I thought I would use some word stickers in black, and that way that would add some boldness to my spread and kind of balance out my little subtitle in black. So I'm going to go through a few of these. I think I end up using Darling, You Are a Work of Art, and I will use Love with All My Heart, and I will end up adding them to my flowers. It's really going to help balance everything out. So I'm running out of time. I just have enough time to add another phrase sticker. I do end up trimming this one down just because I didn't want it to kind of run off my flowers, and I wanted to tuck it behind my son's photo. But at one point I think to myself, oh, maybe I should add some crystal drops, but I knew I didn't have the time. So I go for enamel dots, which was a big mistake because I don't have a lot of enamel dots, and the ones that I always end up like in my drawer are the larger ones, and I try the larger ones to add to the center of my flowers, and I end up hating it. So I end up removing them once I'm done with my time, which is okay. But I have like a few seconds left. I'm going to try the enamel dots. It doesn't work out, but I'll talk about it once my time is over. So at this point, we're at 3 seconds, 2, 1, and we're done. Okay, you guys, I don't know if I like those enamel dots at the end. I wasn't able to like go through my enamel dots and get smaller ones. I don't know. I don't like this. I'm going to take this off. They're way too big. What do you guys think? Anyways, I was able to finish my spread, but I'm going to cheat and remove the enamel dots because those are way too big. I should have probably just used crystal drops, but I knew I didn't have enough time to do that. But I like it as is, even without the enamel dots. This was simple. Like I said earlier, that I usually change my mind. I do have a vision, and I start using or kind of building on that vision. But when I stuck down his photo, I felt like I really needed flowers to surround him. I always do that when I trim out photos. I always tend to grab my flowers and kind of build around my photo. And I really like how it turned out. I was still able to stamp a bunch of different sentiments and words that kind of represent how I feel about him. So I really, really like how this one turned out. It was a lot of fun, so easy and simple. I didn't stick down my flowers really, really well because I was kind of rushing. But again, no big deal, not a problem. I still love how it turned out, and it came together pretty quickly and pretty easily. I hope I was able to inspire you guys to create faster and to document those photos. I hope you're enjoying the 15-minute challenge. I'm really enjoying it. It's really actually challenging me as well to not think too hard about the little things and just create. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing, and I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye.